Hello, Fallen Dragonite here again. Today, this is actually going to be my first review of one of the Mastermind Creations releases. This one was from back in 2012. This is, of course, the Night Morpher MK-05 Screecher, their version of Hearts of Steel Starscream. As you can see, I still got the box right here, which has some nice CG artwork, some tech specs, more CG artwork, of course the warnings and whatnot. This thing also came with a comic book. I'm not going to take that out for this review. We're just going to focus just on the figure itself, which is very nice. As you can see, he rolls because he has little train wheels on the bottom. He's a very nice looking steampunky machine. And you may notice there's this little post here. Apparently, if you have one of the Night Morpher engines, they're not Optimus Prime, not Nemesis Prime, you can actually hook him up. He can be pulled along a track, because these things are about the size of the train wheels. And there's these little tabs in the back here, which connect to little holes in the front, so you can hook up multiple ones of these, because, of course, they have Thundercracker and Skywarp colors. They also had a plain gray version, which was just the pre-production prototype version. Only a few hundred, I think, were made of that, so it's not one that you can actually get off the shelf. And then I picked this thing up on Big Bad Toy Store because this thing was on very deep discount. Considering this thing was released in 2012, I'm not surprised. And also, you may notice, there's a lot of sharp, pointy bits. A lot of people who have reviewed this said that this thing will draw blood. And just feeling these tips, I can understand. Of course, my hands have thick calluses on them because I've worked with my hands quite a bit as a kid, so I'm not worried about this poking me, but if you don't have thick calluses like me, this thing might draw your blood. Now then we got the chain guns here, which replace the null rays. I believe each one of these had a different weapon. I'd have to check again because I think Thundercracker had rail guns and Skywarp had fusion, just twin barrel cannons. There is a bit of rotation, but I'm not going to be monkeying around with it too much. I think the rotation's more for the other two weapons because they have to be rotated to fit in the transform mode. We have this cowcatcher on the back, which I feel this should be on the front, but then again, this is for transformation, really. Of course, we got a lot of molded detail, nice paint apps. You also may notice these little blue dots on his wings. These are actually not part of the original molding. These are actually screw hole covers you can put in, and oh boy, that was really tough. I had to get a flush trimmer I use for model making and then just really force these things into these screw holes. And my hands were pretty raw. This is also the reason why I have some thick calluses, because I really try to force these in. Sometimes they wouldn't even fit properly. I'd have to put them in another hole and just cut another. There's a little slot here so you can actually stick in like an X-Acto knife or something and pull them out if you want to, but I keep these in. It actually gives it a nice little look to it, and there's also ones on the arms too. You're not going to see it in this mode, but there were screw holes in the arms that you cover them up, and these plastic bits actually cover that a lot better. Yeah, so we're going to fold these in. We're going to start transforming him. Now, this is something you have to be very careful about because, again, third-party figures are meant for collectors, which means there's a lot of the transformation that is kind of fragile, and you have to be very mindful of what you're doing. Like, for example, see that post there? If you do not pop this out correctly, you might snap that post. Also, before rotating the wings, there's little clips here. I unfortunately, transforming this the first time, rotated this without unclipping this, and you might see there's actually stress marks and a little bit of a shaving of the plastic on there. It's still intact on mine, but be very careful of that. So anyway, we're going to fold in his train wheels like that. And I'm going to unfold his leg. Do not grab this. It says in the instructions, do not grab this, because as I move the leg, you may notice that the gears and stuff actually move, much like the Mecha Live gimmicks in, I believe it was the second Transformers movie that had the Mecha Live. As you can see, yeah, the gears move as you move the knee. So we rotate these down, and now we have to pop this to rotate the torso around, and then we fold out his feet like so, and like so. There's no way to get these feet to lock into place. They're just on very tight ball joints. I've also found when I was trying to transform this, okay, I gotta make sure I didn't strip the gear there, that these pieces will actually pop off because it takes a lot of force and practice to get that tab to go into that slot. So be mindful of that, but maybe mine are just misaligned. Next up, we pop this panel right here and on the other side. Oh, I'll do the other side later. We fold this out. There are two tabs that go into little grooves. So we have to be very mindful. These are very thin, by the way. These feel like model kit plastic. Not as flimsy as model kit plastic, but about as thin as model kit plastic. So you want to be very careful handling this. So now that we've done that, we now unpeg this, because there's a tab here and goes into one of the slots here. We fold out his arm and then dig in, fold out the wrist, close that panel. These panels will be very tight the first time you get this, and I actually have to stick my pocket knife in there and just pry them open the first time because they were really tight. And you can see there's the screw hole covers there. I'm gonna move this off to the side, do the same here. Yeah, come on, there we go. That came out a lot easier for me. Okay, flip out the hand. Pop this. You can already hear the ratchets in this thing. This thing has some really nice ratchet joints. Okay, now for the next part, you have to carefully unpeg that and then move this whole assembly back. As you can see, these things are going to pop up and these gears move. So it's another bit of the Mecha Live. And there's a slot there and a tab there that just pegs into place. However, you can't really move it all the way without untabbing these from the back. You gotta untab these and move them the rest of the way down, because this is as far as this panel goes, and I have to raise it up a bit to get this in, because there's a point where it clicks in place and then you have to flip it all the way down. Make sure it's all the way down, because there was a notch there that goes into a little spot there, and then we fold these back into place. And now we flip up the Starscream head, which that already looks like Starscream's head, but there's these two little fins that we pop out on the side. And then finally we fold in the wings here. And there we have Screamer in his robot mode. He looks pretty nice in my opinion. A nice steampunky Starscream. He has, of course, still has all the rotating rotor blades, which I didn't show off in vehicle mode. We have a lot more sculpted detail. There's actually molded in rivets too. And he also has these really nice heel spurs, which were the coupling for the front of the vehicle. Of course, he also has his Gatling guns. Oh, forgot to fold the panel back in. Yeah, Gatling guns could probably use a little bit more paint, but they just peg in via these two ports, just right there. You may also notice he has similar ports on the inside of his arm. That's because you can put both his guns on a single arm, like so we can dual wield. But that's not all. That's not the only thing we can do with these, because we can take these off again, and you notice those dark gray pegs in the middle. All we do is just peg these together, like so. Press this peg down, pull this peg all the way up. Unfortunately, there's no way to hold these pegs in place, so you have to, when you disassemble this, you're going to have to take that peg back in and carefully put it back into the original spot. But now he can undersling it, and there's enough tilt in his wrist. It has to be bent up at an angle to wield it like an underbarreled Gatling gun. But that's another option you can do with it. Of course, that's also not the only weapon this thing's got either. He has his side skirts. And again, be very careful. There is a puzzle piece-like connection right here. You have to very carefully and very gently push it up to slide it out. Do not yank down at all. I'm not yanking, I'm just showing you. Do not go this way. Go up. Very carefully. As you can see, there's the handle there, so you can use this as kind of a sword. And of course, same with the other side. So we're just gonna take this, slide it into his hand like so. It fits nice and secure, so now he has a blade. So we take that out. We're gonna take the other one off very carefully. Like so. Come on. I don't want to be flexing this. I want to be very careful, just sliding the thing out. There we go. Didn't break. Just gonna fold these pieces back. And of course we can take the blades, and on those same connectors, make it into a two-bladed weapon. The connections here are a little looser. They're not as tight as they are on the figure itself. So I'm not terribly concerned about breaking it when it's on its double-bladed mode. And again, not the only weapon he has. Come back here, and you'll see these little gears here. When you buy this initially and get it out of the package, these are not attached to his body. You have to actually attach them. As you can see, there's a little tiny gear inside the big gear, and you can rotate it. Okay, I gotta be careful here because there we go. When there's no little gear inside the big gear, that means that this is disengaged from the lock. And you can just... Okay, I want to be very careful because I could possibly inadvertently hurt something if I don't be careful. Not just because of the small points, because of that also the port right there, because I don't want to stress that. Yeah, you can see right there, there's a little tab there that has to be flat when you're taking it out. We take this connector for the vehicle mode, fold the wing out all the way, and he now has a Armada Starscream homage wing blade. And of course the other side can do that too. So once again, we're gonna rotate the gear until we disengage the lock. Carefully pop the wing off. It's also worth mentioning this is still pointy. Even if I'm not careful, I might actually puncture my callus and actually hurt myself. So, yeah. Other wing. but you can do stuff. First things first, there is this little thing on this end here. No, wait, this end right here. That just slides into that groove right there. Do the same to the other side. Just be very careful. Again, a lot of this stuff's very pointy. I have calluses. If you don't have calluses, be very mindful when you're doing this, because these are the pointiest parts of the toy. Those are slid in place. And now we got 2 pegs on each side, 2 holes on the other. So we just line all that up and just click it into place. And now he has a giant windmill shuriken, like something out of Naruto. So we just put that in his hand. Trying not to break anything here, so I'm trying to be very careful. Just pop it in his hand like so. And you can see there's actually a gap that will actually give you enough space for his Gatling gun if it's on his wrist. And as you can see, his joints are pretty tight enough to actually support the weight of that whole big assembly on his arm. It ain't coming off. Anyway, that's all the weapons he gets. So let's actually look at the articulation before we finish this off. Head, ball jointed. There is light piping in there, although it doesn't really show up too well on my camera because of the black background and lack of zoom. His shoulders are universally ratcheted. His elbow bends at 90 degrees. Oh, wait. I didn't lock his elbow in place. Elbow normally goes about there, but if you disengage that transformation joint, you can actually get about a double jointed elbow. Waist, ratcheted. Is this annoying yet? Hips, ratcheted. If you move this skirt out of the way, you can actually get a little bit more back. These, of course, fold out of the way to accommodate any leg articulation. Again, very deep knee due to transformation because it's double jointed. Be very careful because you don't hold that. Front of the foot is ball jointed, but it doesn't give you a whole lot of side to side to it just due to that big bat wing blade. And the rear also has a bit of tilt to it too. Not a whole lot, but enough to get him into some decent poses at least. So I'm going to take these off to the side. And let's get some size comparisons here. I got right here my Voyager Bumblebee movie, Studio Series Optimus Prime. And this is Starscream after all, so you got Siege Megatron. As you can see, he's roughly about Voyager sized. So, pretty decently sized figure. Now then, when this thing originally came out, it was like, I believe $90 originally when it was released. However, when I went to Big Bad Toy Store, they're selling these things for roughly $31, which means this thing is a little cheaper than a modern Voyager. And he's about as big as a Voyager, so if you were on the fence about getting a third-party figure, and you don't mind the fact that this thing could probably draw your blood if you're not careful, I say go for this guy because he is pretty nice, and the very cheap price point he is at now for the clearance is fairly good, so I suggest getting him while you still can. And of course, I do want to eventually get the other colors, but yeah, that all depends, especially considering Thundercracker's still $35, but I think he comes with the railroad track so you can, for display purposes. So yeah, that's my review of the Night Morpher Screecher. Fun little Starscream. Oh, I forgot a transformation joint. Yeah, you're supposed to pull up his arms to give him a better shoulder. There we go. And I think that's a little further in than it should be. So that's my review. If you can get the trainer or already have it, I say this is a good chance to actually get the whole squadron of Seekers for this series. If not, the Seekers are fine toys on their own. And of course, the recent independent add-on for a 3D printed armor set for Siege, Shockwave, that turns him into the Hearts of Steel version, means that it's a really good time to actually look into these things. Anyway, hope to see you guys again next video. Bye!